Hi, my name's Greg, and welcome to Sign Time. Let's take a look in the neon room. In 1902, the first piece of neon was invented in Paris. The first sign was sold in 1910 in Paris to a barber shop. In 1923, a Packard dealership in the United States of America in Los Angeles bought the very first sign. But in 1932, the patent was lifted on the electrode, the manufacturing part of neon, and that's when neon really exploded. So you know what? Let's take this journey on Sign Time. Tools of the trade. In neon, we use just a very few tools. This is a blow hose. My block, it's not affected by heat. My file, I use this for cutting glass. You'll see that in a little while. Marking pencils. A Sharpie marker for drawing on the pattern. A measuring tool to measure the glass so I know which size it is. Corks to fit in the end of the glass so I can put my blow hose in here and produce pressure by blowing. A measuring device so I can measure the pattern, like this letter R. Electrode holders, they come in lots of shapes and sizes. And electrodes. This is the ribbon fire. This starts about 1 inch and you slide this out, you can go all the way to 16-inch fire. It's good for making nice round bends. This is a 24-inch, same thing. You could slide this out. This one I use for making small little letters and signs. This one slides out and it's a little 6-inch burner and I can work around it pretty easily. This is my hand torch. This is nice because I can bring this torch to my work. So when I have a big sign laid out and I'm welding together the final pieces, I can use this, and I can also use it to tubulate, which you'll see later on the manifold. This is a 5-point crossfire. This is good for small little bends and welding glass together, which you'll see soon. Before we embark on this journey, there's one thing I have to bring up. Safety. That's the most important. You always wear your safety glasses, and because of the mercury and phosphorus and other chemicals inside this room, we never ever have any food or drink in here. Neon comes in many sizes. This is a 20-millimeter tube. This is a 15-mil tube. 15 mil again. And down to a small 10, which might be used for script and real tight letters. All the way down to my tubulation that I use to connect the neon, 5 millimeter. There's two gases that we use in neon in the process of making tubes, neon and argon. There's other gases that people use, but in the sign manufacturing, it'll be one of those two. Neon comes in many, many colors. My favorite is clear red. When I make a pattern, I make it in reverse. I draw this out on paper. So I don't burn the paper, I use this brass screen. And when I bend on the letters, it doesn't burn the paper. And I could use this pattern over and over again. And this is what a tube would look like, all completed. In between, I paint out so the letters really stand out. This usually comes in two colors, gray and black. I mostly use black myself. This glass is purple glass pumped red. So I call this, and most people do, flamingo. Now cutting the glass. I'm just scoring it, really, putting a scratch on it. And then I pull it apart. Welding glass together is very important. I have a cork in one end and my blow hose put into the other, and this piece into my mouth. I'm blowing out just a little bit to make the walls of the glass the same. And there you go, that's a basic weld. And this is the ribbon fire. It's used for bending curves. And like I said before, I can adjust the flame's length. So I'm heating all the sides of the glass. And then I could feel it starting to get soft. See? Starting to get plastic-like, but I'm not there yet. It's getting close. And here we go. And I still have plenty of time to move around. Okay, first of all, we have a piece of glass. This is 10 mil. We lay it down. I give myself 2 marks. 3 marks right there. Now to the fire. I heat everything up between those 2 marks, between the 3 marks. Back and forth. The glass is getting hot. I can feel it bending already. Now I'm holding the lines upwards. And the first bend is going to be a 90-degree bend. I give it a little bend, and then I blow into it. Then I lay it on the pattern. Make my marks. Oop, it's still moving a little bit. This next one will be a double back. Starting to get soft. And I'm blowing in the end. And the next one will be a drop bend. Now it starts getting a little tricky because we're not working with a straight piece. We're working with a piece, a little couple bends on there, so I really have to adjust my body to the fire. I'm trying to get the piece that I'm trying to heat hot, but I'm trying to stay away from that 90-degree bend, the first bend that we made. So I'm really trying to work this thing to get everything between those lines as hot as I need to be. This turns out it's about 1400 degrees, I guess. And here we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put an electrode on, right on the end, so we can pump it. Then I'll have to blow into the end so it doesn't collapse. Okay, there we go. That's fun. Okay, now the other end. And I use this electrode holder. That holds the electrode for me. Here we go. Try to do this without using my blow hose and see how well I do. There we go. That's good enough. And now, time to go to the manifold. Okay, it's time to process the tube. In this tube, we're going to make it a mercury tube. Why not? In this is a little syringe with mercury. Right here is a little small ball that I blew out of glass. So I put the smallest drop I can right in there. Right there. It's very small. And it's going to fall down and drop into there. There it is. It's sitting right down inside that ball. Now we hook it up to the manifold. This goes to a very large transformer underneath the table. They say it has the transformer underneath the table has the power of 4 electric chairs. This is mica. It's actually a piece of rock. Electricity has a hard time shooting through it. So if the electricity is going to shoot through it, it won't shoot through the mica. Now what I'm doing is I'm producing lightning. And how lightning works is the pressure, the lower the pressure, the easier lightning is to fire. Now I'm sucking out the pressure. And then I hit in the electricity. Oops. Then I hit in the electricity. And there it goes. Now what we're doing is we're burning oxygen. We're burning the potato chips I ate, all the food, that lousy Coke I had. We're burning that all out of there. Now I evacuate just a little bit out. This pencil helps me decide what temperature. What I want to do is bring it to about 450 degrees or so, the piece of glass, and I use that by using the electricity to heat it up. And then I want to really burn up these electrodes on the end. I'll get those cherry red. When that happens, I know the tube is pure. Then I'll pull everything out. The tube will be totally empty of atmosphere, of everything. Then that's when I introduce the gas, and you'll see. Right here on the wall I have a gauge. I'm watching this gauge up here. It's telling me what's going on, and my experience is telling me what's going on with the tube right now. So it's getting hot fast for today. And there goes the electrodes. This is apparently a fast tube. Now I open it up and I'm pulling everything out. And I'm watching that. Then I give it a little more juice. And that's it. Now it's emptying out. I'm pulling it all out. I'm pulling everything out. All the impurities, everything. Now we just let the tube cool just slightly, just enough when I could touch it. That's good enough. And then I go ahead and fill the gas in, and it's time to rock. That little ball of mercury is still sitting in here. I don't introduce that until after the tube's ready. Then I'll dump that in.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Okay, we're ready to fill. Closing off the main stopcock. That tube is empty, for sure. Now I'm going to let in a little bit of gas. This gauge helps me decide how much I want to let in. And for 10 mil, I bring it down to the 13. That's close enough. Now I'm tubulating it off because the gas is in there and I want it to stay in there. There we go. Turn off the manifold for safety because I don't like touching these unless it's off. This tube's still a little bit warm, but we'll let it run and see what it looks like. This is just a bone-in transformer, just a smaller transformer, so I can check the tubes to make sure they're good. Now what I did for this one, because I think it's fun, is I put neon gas in there, but I put a ball of mercury in it. So we let it burn in for just a little while, and then what I'll do is I'll dump in the mercury and you'll see the difference. At the end here, I left a little ball of mercury. Normally this tube I would have filled it with argon, but I think it's pretty interesting when you dump the mercury ball and it runs through the tube. So here we go. Let's see if we can get this going down there. There it comes. Little tiny ball. There it goes. And that's just one little tiny ball of mercury. Come on, little girl. I see it. It's stuck right here. There it goes. Right here, if you can see it, there's the ball of mercury. And if I let it go all the way down through, this tube would turn all the way from red to blue. And then, if I took it outside and it was winter, it would turn red. Till the tube got warm, then it would automatically start turning blue. It's kind of neat. I think it's cool. All right, and that's it. That's how you process the tube. I'll cut this off, and this tube's ready to go. Well, our journey is complete. We learned a lot about neon and a little bit about love. We laughed, we cried, I wet my pants, and we're done. So thank you all for joining Sign Time. And I will see you next time on Sign Time. How long do I have to stay frozen?